Okay, Amber. Happy New Year. How are
Happy New Year, happy Friday, right?
you? Right. I'm gonna keep saying Happy New Year until the end of January, just so
Oh,
everybody knows. So
okay, yeah, let's
that's
do it.
that's the rule we're doing here. Super excited to come to you guys today. Thank you, Amber, for going live as always. We're doing this twice a week. So for those of you who love to tune into our live streams, we're back large and in charge. Today, we're super excited because we're going to be talking about what Amber has deemed to be the most aggressive free money grant that we have seen so far in 2024.
Yes, it is. It's super aggressive. I'm excited to tell you about it because it's going to help a lot of people get into houses that haven't been able to save money for down payment.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump into that here in a second. Just to remind you guys, my name is Laci. I am your realtor, your Las Vegas lifestyle expert, your Las Vegas bestie. Amber here, Amber Coleman, one of the top 200 lenders in the nation. She's here to help us learn about all things as it relates to borrowing money and getting you into a house. So we're super excited to talk about this today. Before we get started, Amber, I wanted to just recap a couple things. We did a giveaway a couple of live streams ago, and we have a couple of winners who we've not been able to get in touch with. So if your name is Matt Smith, Nicholas Woodall, and who else were we looking for, Amber? Was that it?
Nita.
Oh, and Nita Applebaum, who is usually on here. And we can't seem to figure out how to get in touch with you guys. So please, for the love of Christ, please reach out to me. There's a phone number at the bottom of the screen. Text me, let me know that you are one of our winners, and we'll verify your information and we'll kind of go from there. We've had a hard time getting in touch with you, but we want to make sure we get you your prizes. So that's the housekeeping item for today. Just a quick reminder also, if you're watching this live, this is for you. So while we may be sitting here talking about a grant program, we are also here to answer questions about anything and everything that you want to learn about when it comes to living in Las Vegas, moving to Las Vegas, or buying a house. So whether you're coming or not, or whatever, we want you to comment below. Let us know you're here. Say hi live. That would be awesome. And then also just drop your questions in the comment box below so that we can answer them towards the end or throughout what we're doing today. So with that being said, Amber, are you ready to talk about this awesome
Do it.
grant,
Yes, I'm excited
program?
to share this information.
Okay, cool. All right. So I'm going to go over to, let's see, let's make it come up here. So this is another Home is Possible program. We've talked about the Home is Possible program quite a bit on our live streams over the last year, because there's multiple versions of it. This one's really exciting though, for a couple of reasons. I want to hear your reasoning why you love it so much.
The reason why I love this one is most of the grant programs that are out there are very limited to how many people are in your household. This one just says if you make under a certain amount of money, here's the grant you can give. Plus, or they limit you on how much your purchase price is. This one goes to a high amount. So you basically can qualify for whatever your debt ratio for. So there's a lot of cool things the other cool thing is that if you add a cosigner to help you qualify for the loan, we don't have to count their income. So there's a lot of little tricky things on there that,
wow.
Yeah, that's really aggressive. So there's a lot of little tricky things on there that help people that sometimes want to do a grant, but then one guideline here or there kicks them out. So this actually helps open that up.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to pull it up so that we can take a look at what the program is all about. Walk us through the details of this program. And again, want to hear why this is different, how it's different, and why you feel like it's so much more aggressive.
Okay, we're going to fire rapid that too, right?
Yes, we are, girl. Okay. We don't have to necessarily go super rapid fire.
Okay, so this grant allows you to get 3 or 5% of the purchase price in money. So like, let's just say you're doing an FHA loan and your down payment is 3.5%. You can choose to pay the 3.5%. Like you could choose to get a grant to cover just 3%, or you can choose to take the grant to cover the 3.5% plus a lot of your closing costs too. So it gives you options, and the difference in those options are rates. So like if you take the cheaper 3% one, that's going to be a lower rate, and then the 5% one is going to be a little bit higher, but still pretty fair compared to like what this grant is doing for you. So
okay, so if I have no money at all to put down, I can I can essentially, I don't want to say borrow, but I can do this free money program, up to 3 or 5% of the purchase price. Got it.
Yeah. So if you have no money, you could take the 5%, pay your full down payment plus most of your closing costs, and then see if the seller can cover the difference. So very aggressive that way.
Wow, super aggressive. What I also find interesting too, like you said before, is so many grant programs kind of a lot of people can't qualify for them because they either make a little bit too much money, or based on the number of people in their house, it kind of works against them or for them, depending. So if I'm a single person, I wouldn't maybe get as much as like somebody who has 5 or 6 people living in the same home. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. So this, like the single people or people that just have 1 or 2 people in their household, they're the ones that kind of get restricted a lot with the grants.
Right.
Because
Right.
most of the grants are going to add money that you can income per household per person in the house. So if you have
Right.
a lot of kids, it benefits you. But like this one doesn't do that. This one just says maximum purchase price is $766. Now, maximum purchase price is going to be like if what you can, like what you can qualify for, but they're not limiting you on a certain amount. They're allowing you to go pretty high. And then
Yeah, that's been the other thing too, is like a lot of the grants stop at like a certain, like kind of a lower amount, which is still
yeah,
sort of within the range of the average price. But this is basically free reign, right?
yeah, this is saying whatever you qualify for, here's what you can do. So, and then
Wow.
the coolest part about this is the maximum income limit is 140,000. So
Wow.
the cool thing about this is that most grants, like let's just say you're a single person or you're 2 people living within the household. Hi, Baxter.
Sorry, this is what happens when you work from home.
But let's just say you're a single person or have 2 people within the household. Most of the grants are going to limit you at a much lower amount and income limit. This one says you have to make under 140,000. There's no special guidelines, rules to that you could be a single person and get in making $140,000. So
That's awesome.
no other grant is really like that, really. I mean, I can't really think of any. Well, there's one that's like this, but that one restricts on the other one that is like this restricts on where your house is. Like it's only in specific areas. This is for really anywhere in Nevada.
That's
So
cool. That's cool. I know. Yeah, it's. I think one of the reasons you said this is one of the most aggressive
mhm.
loans out there, or sorry, not loans, but free money programs, is because it is so much different and so much more lenient than so many of the others that we've looked at. So, all right, back to it. Hold on, back to it. Let's get back to it. Okay, so next slide, I want to look at the credit score. So credit score has always been a big concern on a lot of people that reach out. They're like, oh, my credit's not that great. Or, in order to get free money, I've read all over town, and all over online that you have to have perfect credit. But the reality is that's not always the case. This one's actually still a little bit lenient.
Yeah, it's lenient. And also keep in mind with credit, we go through a lot of different grants all the time. So there's different grants for different things. So always reach out to ask the question. But for this one in particular, minimum FICO score is a 640. And then the 640 FICO score allows you to go up to 45% debt ratio. 680 allows you to go up to 50% debt ratio. So
Wow.
we can play with that. And then also sometimes manufactured homes get cut off the grants. This one allows for manufactured homes if you're at a 680 FICO score. So that's pretty
Wow.
impressive too. Mm-hmm.
That's really cool. I was going to say, I want to make this so you guys are focused on what we're saying here for a second. We talk about credit a lot on this channel, and we're constantly trying to remind people that, well, while you think you know what your credit score is, you probably don't, especially when it comes to buying a house. You may know what it is, when it comes to Credit Karma or maybe the 3 bureaus, but those are not necessarily the exact things that we look at in order to qualify you for buying a home. So when you're thinking about buying a house, do not assume that you know what your credit score is. Please, for the love of everything, allow Amber to take a look at it. She can do a soft pull so it doesn't mess with your credit score. It doesn't ding you. And she can take a look at everything and say, oh, wait, you thought it was in the 400s, but it's actually 650. And by the way, we can make it go up another 30 points if you just do this one thing, right? So Amber's really, really good about putting together not only a game plan, but she can walk you through the reality of your situation and not have like a Credit Karma who's trying to sell you something, trying to get you to do the things that might actually harm you versus help you in the process.
I love
Sorry,
it.
I'm your biggest advocate for those.
We're gonna
plans.
get our girl a cheerleader outfit because she's like the best cheerleader out there.
My dog is going crazy today. I'm gonna mute myself, Amber, but will you touch on some of the other items?
Yeah. So we talked about the credit score and the different debt to income ratios that you have for specific credit scores. So here's another really cool part. Purchaser may own another property outside the state of Nevada at time of closing. This is aggressive because I haven't seen any other grant. Most grants want you to be first-time home buyer, right? But there are some grants that will say you don't have to be first-time home buyer. You just can't own a house at the time of closing or even at the time of application, right? So
Wow.
like this one, you can actually own another house somewhere else and still get this grant.
I
So
love that.
just because like so many people, I know that, so many people that, Laci, that you're helping go out looking for houses are always coming from somewhere different a lot of times.
Right. Yeah,
And so
we do about 99% relocation. We do so many people who are trying to move to another place, but they often own homes, right? And they can't necessarily qualify for this stuff.
yeah, so to be able to now have a grant that you can have a house somewhere else and then buy a house in Vegas with, with getting that type of money, that's aggressive. That's aggressive.
I
I don't
love
know
it.
any other grants like that.
I love that. All right. I want to just say hi. My dog is seriously freaking out. I don't know why. Something's going on
Oh, he's
outside my
a fun
door. Hi, buddy.
little
Are we okay?
cutie.
Are we okay? We're okay, right? This is Baxter, everybody. I have no idea what kind of a dog he is. Someone just asked what kind of dog I have. I have no idea. He's some sort of a something. Do not see his ears are up, and I'm worried he's going to start barking again. What are you doing, dude? Come on.
He's a little cutie is what he is.
The punk. Anyway, the fact that you can own a home was a really big surprise to me too. So when we talk about that, this is the most aggressive free money grant that we've seen. There's a lot of pros and cons for it. We're going to talk through some of that in a minute, but already the things that stand out to me that get me super excited is that the income limit is much higher than any of the other ones. You can have a co-signer and not count their income towards it. That's insane to me. That's aggressive. The fact that you can own a home in somewhere else, not in Nevada, right? Somewhere else.
In a different state, yeah.
A different state.
Well, some grants
That's
also
amazing.
make you live here for 6 months too. This one doesn't have any of that. So,
Oh my God. All
yeah.
right, let's keep going with the aggression. So aside from all these things, I'm going to go back to the first slide. I really love the idea that you get 3 or 5%. What's the bad news about this? What are things that we're not understanding quite yet? Give me some of the other stuff that we haven't listed on the screen that you want to make sure we touch on.
Okay, so the bad, because there's always give and takes, right? There's always give and take. So well, not bad news, but like this grant. So a lot of times grants have a certain period where it's forgivable, right? So if you keep it 3, 5, 7 years, after that point, it's forgivable. This grant, if you ever sell the house or refinance the house, the grant is paid at that time. So
you do have to pay it back.
It's like a take now, pay later kind of thing, right? So like,
unless you never sell the house, which we are constantly telling people to not do. We want you guys to hang on to your income, or sorry, your real estate, and make them income producing properties, right?
Yeah. Like if you never sell the house, then you have the grant on it forever, right? But when you're taking the loan out, you're not going to pay any monthly payment on the amount that you're taking, because some grants have also a second where there's like where you're going to pay a monthly payment on that. This one doesn't have that, but you will have to pay it back if you sell or refinance at some point in the future. So, I mean, in my way of looking at that, because some people are like, well, that's crap, like when they look at this program, I'm like, not really, because when you buy a house, you're getting in without having to put money down, especially in a time of like inflation and stuff like that. Right. And then as you have the house, you're going to increase in your equity in the house is going to increase as the value goes up. And so if you decide to switch houses at some point, you have that equity and then you can pay it back at that time.
So it's sort of like an interest-free loan if you think about it, right? I mean, it's free money. It really is. And if you never sell the house or never refinance the house, it's absolutely free. It's never going to be owed back. Once you pay the house off, it's done, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
but I think but for those naysayers who love to find the negative and love to look at the negative lining of everything, let's help them. The reality of the situation is, yeah, if you're gonna benefit from having someone give you free money to interest free, you're not paying interest on it. There's no side loan that you're paying to pay this back. It's not really a loan. It's actually free money unless like I said, you sell the house. But let's say you do have to repay it. You basically got that money for free with no interest. And you've now earned that money and then some on the investment that you were able to take advantage of. So yes, there's people that are going to naysay that, but that's good to know. That's something to be aware of.
Yeah.
How often is that with other grants? How often do you have to repay the grant? Is it often like that?
Well, a lot of the grants are switching to that. So I've seen recently, like this week, a lot of the grants have changed things. So before they had maybe a 5-year or 7-year repayment, and now they've gone to 30 years. So a lot of the grants are matching that.
Got it.
So it's happening more and more right now.
Okay, good to
it.
know. No, that's good to know. And that'll be something that as we move forward and we mention and cover all the free programs that are out there, guys, we're going to definitely be sure to cover, is this a repayable free money program or is this just straight up free money? Because there are some that hit both sides of that fence. Am I
Yeah.
right? Awesome. Awesome. I love it. I love it. What else do we need to know about this grant? Is there anything else other than it's being so aggressive? And let's run through the details one more time for those who just joined us.
Okay. Yeah. It's just opening up so many doors is what this is doing. So like, you can get 3 or 5% of grant money to be able to buy the house. So that could pay for either most of your down payment or all of your down payment plus closing costs. So that's the biggest thing. The biggest hurdle I'm finding right now is the down payment money to get into a house. So you can go up to $766,550 on the purchase price. Again, you're going to go up as high as what you debt ratio for, right?
What you qualify for, right? So don't assume you can just go buy a $700,000 house. You have to qualify for the $700,000 house.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, and then different programs and stuff like that, depending on FICO scores. So, and then minimum income limit, which this is one of the coolest aggressive things on this, is 140,000. There's no amount of people that have to live in the house. Like that's the difference in this grant is that most of the time grants are require you to like if you have 3 kids and there's 5 people living in the household, then you can go up to this income. But if you just have one person, that's where people get messed up a little bit. This one doesn't restrict any of that. There's no restrictions right there. So just opening more doors is what this is doing with the 140,000. And
Love
then
it.
and then the FICO score, minimum FICO score on this one is 640. If you have a 640, you could go up to 45% debt ratio, and I'll figure all that out for you. And then if you're above a 680, you can go up to 50% debt ratio. So just opening you more buying power right there, right? And then you may own another house out of this. Purchaser may own another property outside state of Nevada at time of close. That is unlike any other grant, no other grant. And I've had people move into town before that have sold houses in the past or just recently sold a house and then couldn't buy another one because the grant wouldn't allow it. So we've had people that have been in that situation. This is the only grant that I know of that allows that you to have a house somewhere else while you're moving into Las Vegas.
I love it. I know when we came across this when we were doing our loan roundup, which was on Wednesday of this week. If you guys haven't watched that, please go back and watch that live stream. We had a lot of fun and we were definitely powering through like as many loans and free money programs as we could. But during that process, Amber and I were looking through the lists of all the stuff that we talked about. And she said, wait a minute, this one's new. And we came across this and she's like, oh my God, for Amber to get excited about a program, we always get excited about stuff. I get excited about basically the wind blowing left, right? But she gets excited about everything, or not as much. I get excited about everything. She gets excited about everything that has to do with like opportunity to bring you guys money and bring you guys into home ownership. But I've never seen you jump as excitedly as you did for this. And you were like, wait a minute. Yeah, you were obvious. And I was like, okay, well, we should probably talk about this online then if it's that aggressive. You were like, I've never seen one where you can own something else. I've never seen one where you can go that high as far as income. I've never seen one where you can, you can have that kind of a credit score. I've never seen one where you can have a co-borrower and not have to worry about their income so that it disqualifies you. Like on a multiple level, your brain was being blown. So I'm excited that we were able to share this today.
Because I see so many people go into grants and I'm like, oh, dang it, we can't because you just sold a house. So that's a first time home buyer. This is this, or, oh, your income doesn't qualify because you're only one person in the house or whatever. So this kind of like just filled in all the pieces of whatever.
Listen, so when we see Amber doing a Hercules clap, we know that something's going right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it.
The cool thing about this year too is I've heard there's so many programs that are on the horizon right now that are about to come out. So I'm excited as they come out to come out and talk to you about them because there's so many things that will just open up home ownership to people that might not have had the opportunity before.
Well, and the thing that I want to remind everybody is we've really stepped up our game when it comes to our live streams. We're doing these twice a week now, Wednesdays and on Fridays. We may also be starting to go live on Instagram as well as TikTok. Amber doesn't know yet, but I'm going to be inviting her to do that with me. But all that being said is, our goal is to just continuously bring the message of hope and home ownership to you guys. And this is not an aggressive push because, we're trying to make our bills happen. This is an aggressive push because we don't want you to wait until everyone and their mom comes off the fence to take advantage of a lot of these programs, because the money goes away fast and they dry up quickly. And also the prices will go up with it. So as soon as the rates start to dip down even a little bit, people are going to come off the fence as quickly as possible. And we're going to find ourselves in a situation that's a little bit sticky and a little bit difficult to navigate. So we want to have you guys and encourage you guys to get ahead of the game. If you're thinking about buying a house, if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, even if you're just considering it, click the link in the description or just text me at the phone number that's scrolling on the bottom of that screen. Let's set up a phone call. Let's have a conversation. The whole point in us doing this and to going aggressively twice a week, to bring this information to you is A, we know there's a lot of programs coming out, and B, we want to get in your face about this because we're serious. Not that we haven't been serious in the past, but we're dead serious this year. This is the year of forward motion, right, Amber? We made that decision.
Forward momentum. That's the year.
Forward motion, forward momentum, my friend. So if you have at all ever considered about buying a house ever, or even if you think I'm never going to be able to qualify, I call bullshit. I think you need to click the link or call the number on that phone or text the number. Let's set up a phone call, because we've seen it happen hundreds of times over where people never thought they could buy, and then they buy, then they're thanking us time and time again because they don't have to be in that renting cycle and that fear of what's my landlord going to do next year kind of mode. So we want to take advantage of this. There's going to be a lot of new programs that are hitting the market, a lot. And it's always at the beginning of the year. As you know, we do this every single year. So we decided to up our game and come in 2 times a week to make sure that we're right in your face and we don't let a full week go by before we tell you about something new that you could take advantage of. So super, super pumped.
And because we love you. That's why we're coming twice a week. And we believe in you. You could do this. You could do this.
Yes. All right. Let me tease before we hop off. I'm not seeing too many questions today. You guys are quiet. This is interesting. You guys are quiet today. It must be just getting woken up for the year or something. But I wanted to just tease a couple of the things that we have coming up. We're going to be talking about how to get a lower mortgage payment without refinancing. We're going to talk about DSCR loans, which we talked a little bit about the other day. We're going to run through those again. We're going to give you, of course, the monthly market update that everybody else and their mom does, but we're going to do it in our way, which will be super fun. Talking to you about the median home prices for condos and townhomes, median home prices for single family homes, and just kind of what our inventory looks like. We're going to talk about why waiting until spring to buy a house is the absolute worst idea ever. I'm going to reiterate that. We're going to talk about why waiting until spring to buy a house is the absolute worst idea ever. We're going to talk about what happens when you lie on a mortgage application, new homes versus resale, things you need to know, how the Fed basically affects everything and why we're constantly talking about the Fed. We're going to break that down for you guys. Free money programs will be sprinkled in throughout, of course. Mortgages 101, kind of for first-time home buyers, and the list goes on. So we've done some really good deep planning for you guys. We're really trying to put a lot of thought and effort into this. We don't want to just show up and not have a plan. So stay tuned. If need be, if there's enough information, we will go live every day if we had to, honestly. And that's kind of what we're easing our way into. We don't want to have to do that. We want to see you guys starting to take advantage of this stuff before we have to get that loud. So don't make us get loud. Just show up twice a week. Enjoy our live streams and learn from us. Let me look and see. There's a couple more. There's a couple questions that came through. These are great. One of them is Gambling Shenanigans says, how does the no doc loan work?
Well, okay, so there's a couple different things. There was, before the mortgage meltdown, there was a true no doc loan where you could do a loan and you didn't have to provide any documentation at all. No assets, no income, no nothing to be able to show. That's why the market fell. And so
that's what we don't want to happen again. Okay.
Yeah. So there are loans out there like DSCR loans where they'll calculate your income based off the rent on the house. Those are for investment properties. And you do put some money down on those. There's those types of things out there. And there's probably some hard money type of like stated income type of things. But like the closest thing that I can say that is pretty good and pretty aggressive is the DSCR loan, where you're not providing any income documentation at all. You are providing assets to be able to show that you have the down payment for it. And then the rent on the house is going to be calculated by the appraiser.
Love that. Good questions. That's a really good DLVTT. Not a money question, but how, if you're a first-time home buyer and into vintage furniture or art, do you want to decorate your home after buying a house or condo? What are the best antique stores, etc.? Great question. I'm pretty sure you know the answer to this question, so I think you might have lobbed this one to me just so we would have some questions today, but I'm happy to answer it. I have a furniture dealer actually that I work with. His name is Wheeler and Dealer. His name is Steve Sawinski. He's amazing. He sources all kinds of amazing vintage furniture, vintage art, all kinds of cool stuff. And he's on Instagram. You can find him, Wheeler and Dealer. I've done a few videos with him. I also really love to go down to the antique stores and antique malls on Main Street. I'm pretty sure I bumped into you, DLVTT, down there right across the street. But thank you for asking the question. I do like to go through those. In fact, I'm thinking about doing a little series of my favorite, like, things I do when I need a few moments alone, and vintage shopping is one of them. So there's some really great antique malls downtown. And then there's also a really great antique mall over off of Decatur, and it's like by Arizona Charlie's, Decatur and what is that? Decatur and Charleston sort of area over by there. They've got some really cool stuff too. So I'm a big believer in the antique shop, and I would love to, I don't know, maybe take you along with me, DLVTT, next time you come in town. But definitely going to be doing some fun videos on TikTok and Instagram regarding those places. But please go give my friend Wheeler and Dealer, or Wheeler Dealer, I think it's Wheeler and Dealer, Steve Sawinski, on Instagram. Give him some love. Tell him Las Vegas Gal sent you. He's amazing. John Harris says, could you talk more about the reverse loan, the reverse mortgage? You want to give it a little touch on that?
The reverse mortgage is an amazing loan for people that are 62 years older and above. So what it is if you put down, if you're going to buy a house, or you can refinance, it depends on where your situation is. But if you're going to buy a house and you're going to put down a substantial down payment, most of the time these days, it's about 50% that they're wanting as a down payment. But if you're going to put down that large amount of down payment, you could do the loan without any payments on it. So there's no monthly payments, and there's a system that's pulled. So we have to basically put in your age, how much you're buying the house for, and then how much down payment you're going to put. It's going to tell you how much you're required to put down at your age to be able to do the reverse mortgage. So it is a really, really cool program like that. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of financial advisors use this program a lot. So what they'll do is they'll have people do the reverse mortgages that have a good amount of money to be able to hold back some of their money so that they can invest those into other interest-bearing accounts and stuff like that. And then they have no monthly payment that they're making on their house. So you're basically using your living expenses as a way to like springboard you further. Or, some people just use it because they want to be able to live in a house without live in retirement without having to stress too much about mortgage payments and stuff like that, and gives you more room to travel and stuff like that. So I'm happy to talk to you about it further in your situation individually too.
Love it. I just got kicked out, by the way. So I love that you just kept the show
Did
going.
you?
I got kicked out and I came right back in, and you're still going, girl. Way to be a pro. Love that.
I was like, where did Laci go for a second?
That was the weirdest thing ever. All of a sudden I was like, hello. Saint White said, I joined a little late. Is the Home is Possible program we were talking about before, Amber, is that a federal program?
So the Home is Possible is for the state of Nevada, but eHousing, who is the insurer of the Home is Possible, they are actually in a lot of different states, but the one that we're talking to you specifically about is for Nevada in particular.
Awesome. Love
Every
that.
state has something going on though.
And then Sammy, sweet Sammy, says, does the age of a primary residence loan impact an investment property loan? Does the age of a primary residence loan impact the investment property loan? So I think maybe if I'm understanding it, if I bought a house today, my loan is only a month old. Does that impact an investment property loan if I wanted to go get a loan to buy an investment property?
Let me think about that. Thanks for stumping me, Sammy. I appreciate it. So here's how I would look at it. And here's what I'd probably say if we were on the telephone. So if you're looking to buy a primary house and then buy an investment property as well, what I would probably say is buy the primary house, live in it for a specific amount of time, I'd say live in it for 12 to 24 months. and then move to another house, turn that one into an investment property. Because if you're going to buy a primary residence and then buy an investment property, your down payment is going to be like 20 to 25% on that investment property. But if you move up occasionally, like over time, then you'll be able to cut down on that down payment money and the interest rates. So like if you're moving
good answer.
2 years, does that make sense?
So it doesn't necessarily, what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily affect the loan. Like you can go and get a loan if you want. You just have to have the down payment and all the things that assign with it. But the recommendation, the process would be to go about it a different way and to do what you just mentioned.
Yeah, like if you're looking to, if your long-term goal is to be an investor, right? Like you want to be able to have 5 houses within 10 years or whatever. What I would suggest is buy your first one small, then move up 2 years from then, and then move up and then move up and then move up, because then you're going to be able to accumulate houses that you're living in for a specific period of time, and then moving up and turning and converting that one to an investment property.
Love it.
So like if that's your long-term goal, then let's talk about it.
Okay. I love it. Well, but I think we should probably end this before I get kicked out again, because that was the weirdest thing ever. That's never happened before. I wanted to just reiterate, guys, if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, please reach out to us. My phone number is scrolling on the bottom. Text is easier. That way I can text you back and we can set up a time to chat. If you are on any of my other social medias, there's a link in the description or a link in the bio, or even a link down below in every pinned comment, in a pinned comment on every video of my channel. You can reach out and set up an appointment as well that way. We would love to chat with you, whether you're thinking about moving now or 10 years from now. It's really important to us that we get to be a part of your conversation today. We've taken a lot of people who thought they had to wait and turn them into homeowners much, much sooner. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. And that's okay too. There's never going to be pressure from our side. Oh man, we're getting all kinds of other questions. So hold on a minute. Let me keep going here. We've got, how does sweat equity work? Says Boomer. Hi, Boomer.
Hello, Boomer. I mean, okay, so there's programs. There's a couple things with sweat equity. So there is a program, I think it's called Humanity Housing for Humanity in Nevada, where you have to sign up to be able to get a house. But what they do is it's kind of like it is a nonprofit organization, but you can buy a house, you can buy a house that you're going to help build it. And that way you're going to cut down on the cost of it. It's kind of a long waiting list for it from the last I heard. I just did a class with them. Like I just spoke with them just a couple months ago, but it's an amazing program. And hopefully at some point they're able to open more for it. But it is an amazing program where you can build a house and they're teaching you how to do it so that you save a lot because of the sweat equity in it. So I think that's probably what you're talking about.
I love that. Otherwise, sweat equity, if you're like an entrepreneur, is just basically time invested in helping build the company, and then you're repaid with shares and things like that later. But this is a really good one. Slightly off topic, but curious to hear about your thoughts on the new Ascension area. I saw how Mesa Ridge appreciated. Are you bullish on Ascension? Hell yeah, I'm bullish on Ascension. So for those of you who don't know, Ascension is a new area that's kind of located probably in the juiciest, crunchiest zone of Summerlin. It is right where all of the best schools are located, right where Bishop Gorman is located, right where all the most gorgeous parks are located in Summerlin, right? Summerlin's one of the most popular areas to live for a reason. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. There's a lot of opportunity up there from an equity perspective. But if you're thinking about buying a house, you better call me, because I want to be the one to sell you a house up in Ascension. But yeah, I'm very bullish on Ascension. And I'm bullish on Summerlin. Summerlin has, over the last 25, 30 years, become one of the most sought after places to live. And they deliver, you know what I mean? They absolutely deliver. The schools are amazing. The parks are incredible. The shopping and amenities in the area are second to none. So yeah, if you're thinking about moving to Vegas, I always give Summerlin a lot of crap, because I'm never one to lean all the way into what everybody else likes. But to be very real with you, from an investment perspective, Summerlin absolutely is a place I would put my money. I would put my money there in a heartbeat, because it has not gone down. And it's one of the places that wasn't affected hardly at all during the economy crash that happened. So highly, highly recommend it. Ascension is very, very new community up there. They're constantly building new communities. There's also an area above the Paseos, they call it the Paseos. These are all little neighborhoods. Guys, I've got a couple of videos coming out. I just did the part 1 and part 2 of Henderson. For those of you that have seen it, give me a thumbs up in the comments. If you haven't seen it, go find it on my channel. I also did Summerlin versus Henderson Southwest versus Northwest, but I'm going to be diving deep on Summerlin and giving you all the scoop and all the details on that area of town. It's just so huge that it's hard to cover in one video. So stay tuned. That's coming in the next couple of months on my channel. I've been working on the script forever. So yeah, so thank you for asking. Ascension's gorgeous, amazing new community. And guys, I want to remind you, we work with resale homes and new homes. I built my career on doing new homes because I was promoting new homes on Instagram. Nobody else was doing it really at the time. And now everybody and their mom does it, which is why I don't really do a lot of house tours on Instagram anymore. I'm like, y'all got it. Have fun. But the reality is like, if you're thinking about buying new homes, you want to start with me. You want to start with our team. We've been doing new homes for a very, very long time. We know all the ins and outs. We know absolutely the best way to squeeze that lemon and get the most for it. We know how to negotiate that price if we can. Sometimes it's not always possible. We know how to get more money from the builder for closing costs and for upgrades. So you don't want to walk in on your own. And if you do walk in on your own, you're waiving the right to have outside representation, which is me. I don't cost you anything extra because you're working with me and then you're working with a builder. The builder's not allowed to charge you less if you don't work with a realtor. I hate to break it to you, all of you people who think that that's the reality. It's illegal for them to do that. So there's a lot of really great ways to go about it, but we really need you to start with us. I know it's super easy to want to go, hey, it's Sunday after church. Let's go drive and look at new homes. And that's fantastic. Don't fill any paperwork out. Do not give them your name. Do not go online and fill out their more information card. The minute you do that, you disqualify yourself from having representation, and then you're kind of on your own. And we don't want you to be represented by the same people that are going against you in the negotiation. You need someone on the outside to represent you. So please don't go without us. That's all. That's off my soapbox now. All righty. Let's see here. We've got, hey, Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl. All right. Let's see. Aaron Watkins. Oh, Aaron, you're going to break my heart. We just built in Kings Canyon. Kings Canyon is another amazing place. Ascension is awesome as well. Appreciate the lifestyle videos. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I really wish you would have built that with me. I would have loved to have helped you. Ashad is saying, do you have any distress deals which allows somebody to flip for profit after a while? I would love to touch on this subject. Amber, I don't know about you, but when you're a realtor, I'm sure this happens when you're a lender. You're put on like the national list of call me for anything and everything you want to sell me, or call me for anything and everything you want to do business with me. And so I get probably 40 to 50 text messages a day from people who are either trying to sell me BS, lead generation stuff that doesn't work, or who say exactly that. If you have any distressed properties that are off market that you want to blah, 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 please call me and my team. We flip properties, which inevitably is someone who, when I reach out there, it's just like it's a constant marketing cycle. Do you receive a lot of that stuff too?
I do. I don't pay a lot of attention to it. I mean, because
it's like 50 people after delete or reply to a read every day. It's a lot. So here's the reality, guys, is there's always an opportunity to do a flip in Las Vegas. You just have to know what you're trying to look for and what you're trying to get. And flips, a lot of people get delusioned by all these people who are flipping properties and making millions online and thinking like that's a quick, fast way to make money. There's a lot of risk in flipping a property, a lot of risk. And you need to have a lot of upfront capital to do the renovations. You have to have all your people lined up and all the people, the flooring guy, the paint guy, the contractor, all that stuff. So there's a lot of risk involved. I personally don't do a lot of flip investment stuff with people. I just don't. There's not a lot of money in it for me. And it's a lot of frustration. And if you're a smart flipper, you should get your license. That way you can be paid by the person who you're buying the house from to invest that commission they're paying you to sell the home to yourself. You could use as a part of the down payment or to cover your closing costs. So for me, my best advice to you guys would be, if you're looking to flip, you can call me and I can certainly help you set up searches and things like that. But it's just not a big business that I focus on because, usually the people are smart enough to have the real estate licensed and to do it the smart way, to have that free money put back into their pocket. That's kind of where I'm at.
Love it.
All righty. Let's see here. Ashai, let's see. What would you
know what? There was another question about reverse mortgages up a little bit.
Yeah, we had touched on that a few minutes ago. Do you want me to, let's see. How does the mortgage company make money on a reverse loan?
Yeah, because I was like, I should have explained that. So,
right. Yeah.
So how a reverse mortgage works is you still have a loan. So there's an interest rate attached to that loan and there's a payment that's attached. So every month as you move forward, the payment is going to get attached to the back of your loan. So it's kind of like it works in reverse. So instead of you paying it, it gets attached to the equity of your house. So it's using up your equity to be able to live where you don't have to pay out of your monthly pocket. Does that make sense?
It's like a long form loan. It's like they're playing the long game, right?
They're playing the long game, so they're still making money monthly off that interest rate, because remember, you put down a large sum of money, so that payment is going to be taken out of that sum of money over time. And then they're making sure that you're of a certain age and stuff like that when you're in it. So like they are playing the long game, but they're still making money monthly on it. I just wanted to explain that, because when you asked, I'm glad you asked that, because I think I did neglect to say exactly how they work in it. So thanks for asking.
We'll add the reverse mortgages to our list, and we'll do a real deep dive on that and kind of walk through that again. So that'll be put on our list for some of the live streams that we're going to do this year. Thank you. That's great. DLVTT said just Googled Wheeler and Dealer. That's exactly who will take a mortgage jointly if a spouse is American. Great question.
That is a great question. So for foreign citizens, yeah, it's called a foreign national loan. And depending on where you're from, there's different types of loans for it. A lot of times the rates are higher, so is the down payment. So if you have, like, if your spouse already has a social, then it might be better to do it that way, depending on how the income works. So we can talk about both ways.
Awesome.
But great question.
Good question. You guys have been a great audience today. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to learn more about the most aggressive free money grant in 2024, please text the number at the bottom of the screen. Let us know. We would love to help you. We also, in the description of this video, have our information as well. There's a link as well. We would love to be able to get in touch with you. We would love to kind of give you the information on this, as well as every other grant that you could possibly qualify for. This one is aggressive for a lot of great reasons. We want to make sure that you're aware of this. Stay tuned. We're going to be doing a ton of free money stuff as they come out. We're going to be bringing them to you. You're going to be slanging free money left and right, slang. And we're going to keep going. So again, join us every Wednesday and every Friday at noon. We love going live with you guys. We love having you be such awesome participants in what we're doing. If you have suggestions for what we're doing, text that number or send us an email or just reach out. We would love to hear your thoughts and ideas. Again, I want to just plug a few of the things we have coming up, guys. We've got DSCR loans. We're going to talk about why waiting until spring to buy a house is the absolute worst idea ever. Let me reiterate that again, because it is. We've got what happens when you lie on a mortgage application. We've got how the Fed affects everything. So we want to talk through that so you guys can start to understand this a little bit more and look at what we're looking at. We're going to talk about why the real estate market's probably not going to crash this year, of course. New homes versus resale, FHA versus conventional. We're going to talk about all the free money programs, DSCR programs, and how to get a lower mortgage payment without refinancing right freaking now. So we've been busy. We've been planning, and we're planning.
Yes, we have
more and more information. So if you are not already subscribed, you better get on it. Better get on it right now. And if you are not already following me on Instagram and TikTok, as well as Amber on Instagram and TikTok, get over there and do it. Amber Coleman Loans, and I am Las Vegas Gal, of course. We got one last question. This is a great one. It's worth putting on the end, and then we're going to hang it up after this one.
Okay.
And when is the best time to purchase? Cheryl says. Cheryl.
Oh, that's an awesome question.
Cheryl, so that's a tricky question, because it could be, today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 6 months from now, and I'm going to probably give you a different answer. But the reality of the situation is, right now in 2024, this moment in time is the best time to buy a house. And the reason I say this is for many reasons. But number one is we've already been told by the Fed that they're going to be lowering our interest rates this year. It's already been said. It's going to come. It's going to happen. It's not going to happen as fast as everybody thinks it's going to happen. It's definitely going to probably be closer to spring or maybe even later. We're going to ease into it. But what I want to encourage at the most in the loudest megaphone possible is, don't wait till everybody else decides to start buying. You will regret that situation and that experience more than you can regret paying a little bit higher of an interest rate for a couple of months until the rates start to come down. We would like for you to get into the house when you don't have to fight for it, when you don't have to duke it out with someone else. We don't have to reach into your mattress to pull out money to try to outbid someone else, which is what's going to happen as soon as the rates start to fall. We don't have enough inventory to balance what's going to happen when everybody comes off the fence. And there are millions of people sitting on the fence waiting for the right time, trying to time the market. The market is now. So if you're thinking about buying a house, start the process now. We've got people like Sammy and her amazing husband who are about to start this process with us because they're listening. And what's going to be awesome for them is they're going to be sitting pretty, making dinner in their gorgeous new house that they're so excited about in a couple of months. And then we're going to start seeing the rates start to come down, and everybody and their mom's going to come off the fence, and they're going to get all crazy about it. And these two are going to be like, hey, should we call Amber and see about refinancing our loans? Let's flip the eggs that we're making in the morning for breakfast instead of having to rush out and call Laci and let's see if we can get into that house and let me outbid that other guy who came from California with $100 billion in his pocket, all those things, right? So if you want to know the true answer, it's now. Now is the time to buy. Now, I'm not saying you're going to get the most perfect rate. I'm not going to say it's all is perfect. But here's what I am going to say is there's more free money programs available right now than ever before. There's some aggressive free money programs thanks to today's live stream. And beyond that, you can refinance when the rates come down. So you're going to have a little bit of pain. Maybe it's not painful at all. You have a little bit of pain for a long time pleasure of having the house you want at a rate that you want with awesome free money that you probably qualified for in an environment of a city that's booming and growing all around you. What more could I say? What more can I say?
Not only that, there's never a time to hold back on starting to gain equity of your own. So like if I look at like retirement and stuff like that, like setting myself up, start paying that down because otherwise you're just wasting the money on rent.
Yeah,
instead of paying something down month a month.
Flush. That's all it is. So I hope that answered your question. I'm not saying that because I want to make money on you. I definitely make money if you buy a house, but it's not on you. You don't pay that bill. The seller pays that bill, just FYI. But with that being said, it's because we genuinely want to see you guys actually be able to pull this off. And as more people come off the fence, the opportunity and the likelihood of you getting that house you want goes down. So let's do it. Let's get ahead of it. Let's be winners in this situation. Now is the time to buy. That's all I got to say. All right. On that note, Amber.
Love it.
I'm on a soapbox stream today, so let's get off before the internet kicks me off again. Super excited to see everybody here. Thank you again for tuning in. We'll see you next Wednesday, where I'm not sure what we're gonna talk about next Wednesday. We're either gonna talk about why waiting until spring is the dumbest idea ever, or we're gonna maybe talk about how you can refinance right now in the house that you're in. So we'll make the decision. We're gonna promote it in advance. Love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. And if you were one of our winners from the other day, we haven't reached out to you, please text the number at the bottom. We really, really want to get you your prizes. You know who you are. I'm not going to say it out loud. You know who you are. Text us and we'll get you your prizes. All right, guys, we'll see you soon. Amber, thank you for joining us as always. I know you're busy. You're one of the busiest people I know, but I'm so grateful that you give us so much time.
Oh, so thanks for always having me here. I always love when I get to spend some time with Miss Las Vegas gal. So
all right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.